As health and wellness providers, we know that better patient outcomes require a whole person, multidisciplinary approach that we just can't provide on our own. That's why I've started the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'll be bringing you interviews with experts, tips, tricks, secrets, resources, systems, and solutions so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And creating your wellness center won't feel like starting over. Before we start today's episode, I'd love to highlight our show sponsor, Jane. Jane is a complete practice management software designed to help practitioners grow and manage their practices. They do this with helpful features like online booking, scheduling, billing, and charting. Whether you're working solo or in a large multidisciplinary practice, no-shows and late cancellations are something every practitioner faces. Jane offers several tools to help you prevent and manage those no-shows, including the ability to save a credit card on file and send out unlimited text and email reminders. Learn more about Jane's helpful features at jane.app. Listeners can also mention the podcast at the time of sign-up for a 1-month grace period applied to their new Jane account. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today on the show, you get me again. I want to talk about this idea of having it all and balancing it all. I get asked about this quite a bit. So the short answer to that question is, of course, I do not balance it all. And if anyone tells you they do, they are absolutely lying. And really, don't get me started on the social media facade of having it all and glorifying busyness. It's not real and it's not healthy. So how do I balance the things I do in my life? There are some ways I set up my life and work so that I can stay well and minimize the impact of the inevitable imbalance. So the first thing I do is I let go of the idea that a person actually has the capacity to stay upright while raising kids, owning a business, having relationships, and surviving a pandemic without any help. And I radically accept that while I'm giving full attention to one thing, I'm not going to be giving full attention to another. And I intentionally integrate life and work rather than trying to keep them separate. Next, I schedule and plan and schedule and plan. And some of you might have seen a recent article on Jane App's website talking about the strategies of scheduling and planning. And within that plan, I schedule in enough space so that when things come up unexpectedly, it doesn't derail my day or my health. So this would be my recommendation on how to get to that point where you can set and stick to a schedule that keeps you well and feeling semi-balanced and hopefully integrated. First, get clear on your top 10 life and work values and make them into statements. For example, my top value is family, so my statement is family is the foundation. For me, this means my family at home, but also my work family. Every decision I make for my business, I consider how it will impact my family at home and our team at VWS. Secondly, write down your current schedule and your ideal schedule based on your values. When you're writing out your ideal schedule, try to set aside the many barriers that will come up in your mind and just write out ideally what that would be for you. Then write out the steps and timeline to make that ideal schedule a reality. The other thing I do on a regular basis is write out my week ahead and my schedule for each day. You can certainly do this on an online calendar as well. I always schedule my breaks first, including a full amount of time to eat lunch, which I know a lot of you out there are not doing. Please eat. Please take breaks in your day. Please do not see 10 clients back to back without eating. Please. And step away from work for a bit. I also schedule in ample breaks in between sessions and meetings. Next, I schedule in my self-care appointments within my day, so I know that I won't skip them. For example, at the end of my day on Tuesdays, I do private yoga class with our yoga teacher, and on Wednesdays, I end my day with a massage from our massage therapist on our team. Lastly, I make sure to block out admin time to work on the business. Once I have all of that on my calendar, I now have a clear idea of how many clients I can schedule and when. I do the same process for when I'm at home, for when I will have work time and non-work time, some time dedicated to my family, time dedicated to rest, etc. I also include morning and evening rituals at home so that I can have space to think, especially before the kids wake up in the morning. And every time I tell someone the time I get up in the morning, they gasp. But it's because I like to have time to myself before I am with my family in the morning. It's not a perfect process. And as business owners, you all know that when something comes up, it often falls on us, and that semi-balanced process you've put in place can get interrupted. But if we can find that integration most of the time, it's a great foundation. One of the other things that has helped me step away from being the only person with the answers to all the questions at work is building out our leadership team. And you can find an hour-long webinar on building a collaborative leadership team on the Jane App Summer School page. That webinar was presented last summer, I think, in August 2022. So if you need some steps to building out your leadership team, you can find that there, and that's free. Some of you are at the stage of still being everything in your business, administrative assistant, wearing every single hat. I remember that time well, and just know that you will grow and have the ability to hire support positions and leadership at some point. Some of you have several leadership positions already on your team, taking those day-to-day tasks. So it's about taking stock in where you are and where you'd like to be, and taking one step at a time to get there. Again, I take the same approach at home. We have lots of childcare help, and we intentionally moved here to be near our families so that we could integrate our lives in that way. I've also radically accepted that we might not make a meal from scratch every night or most nights, and that I can't control every aspect of our home life. At the end of the day, we're just not going to have the cleanest house on the block. So to summarize, how do we have it all? How do I have it all? How do I balance it? First, integrate life and work. Second, choose how and when I spend my time and energy based on my core values. And 3, with a lot of support. Have a great day, everybody. Happy creating. Thanks so much for listening to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com for more show notes and additional episodes. By the way, I love hearing from listeners. Please send me an email at Kendall, Kendall, at wellnesscentercreators.com with your feedback. And if you send me a question, maybe I'll read it on the show, anonymously, of course. Thanks so much again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.